Thanks, guys. Yeah, Titans versus Defiant. I think Danny's got hit the nail on the head just looking at the Toronto Defiant tank line. Who's going to play today? We'll see. I can cheat. I know who's on the screen right now. So we'll let that reveal itself in just a moment. But this is quite an exciting game, Rose, because Titans right now, they are sitting on 0 wins. So they do need to find something. But what's quite exciting about this is that they've actually added a new player to their roster. Unfortunately, they let go of Shockwave, which was a shock to a lot of people, I think. That wasn't supposed to be a pun, but like it was a shock to a lot of people. But they brought in King, another rookie, potential superstar from North American contenders.
I think so. I mean, King has definitely run the gambit there of the kind of contender scene, and now that he's newly aged up and available to be picked up for the Overwatch League, it makes a lot of sense that King would come into this roster to play projectile DPS. So I'm kind of expecting to see the Genji for sure if we're going to see that Junker Queen composition, but also the Echo. That is a hero that King could pull out of his back pocket.
Well, it's going to be Aspire and King in the DPS slots today, and would you look at that? The man of many talents in the tank role in Mirror. So, okay, they've opted to have False step away from this one. So I feel like with Vancouver Titans, Mirror's either going to be in for like the Doomfist or the Junker Queen. He's pretty good on those like super aggressive tanks, and maybe Junker Queen fits right into his wheelhouse. Marsa and Aztec to round out the day. Now, Aztec and Marsa, again, we're looking at another team with like a very, very strong main support in Marsa. Like his Lucio is something that he's known for. And Aztec's Brig, it's not too shabby. They are going up against Chorong and Twilight, which is, I wouldn't say the biggest mountain to climb, because I would say Marsa's Lucio is one of the best that we do have, and especially his time on the Rain, for example. But Chorong and Twilight are quite a mean duo when it comes to it. There you go. So it's Hotburst starting today, although in Hisu in the DPS and Chorong and Twilight in support.
I mean, you can't count out Chorong's Lucio. That's definitely something that is so, so good. And I could totally see Toronto Defiant and Vancouver Titans just, you know, trying to get around each other by using these Lucio speed boosts, you know, proficiency there from both Masa and Chorong. And I think it comes down to, you know, how are these DPS going to fare against each other? Do Vancouver Titans have it all together just yet, knowing that we do have this new inclusion of King? But we also know that, like, the Heast can be unleashed here, Jaws. So it's a tough toss-up for me.
Yeah, it is super scary when you see Hisu in the lobby. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as Yaki, where, yeah, I guess the team isn't doing well. Toronto Defiant are doing better than NYXL currently. They are 6-6 in the overall standings right now, so literally in the middle of the pack. But Hisu could just have these godlike pop-off moments, and it could be very scary to play against. And in a meta that we've seen develop, and you have to have a strong core in the backline. Obviously, your Junker Queen has to be good at setting up these rampages. But if your DPS, your hit scan, or your Genji can find these small little openings and combo with your Junker Queen, or even your Lucio getting escorted round to the enemy backline and picking them off, you don't really have a leg to stand on. One pick is normally a death sentence for a lot of these teams. Well, unless you're San Francisco Shock, which is the opposite. If you get picked on the San Francisco Shock in a 4v5, you're probably going to win. But not all teams is like the Shock, okay?
Yeah, I think that we can put the Shock in a league of their own right now, given that they are at a record of 13-0. But yeah, you can see that there is some history between these two teams, but they have not played against each other in this season of the Overwatch League yet. So we finally get that Canadian clash. And I don't know, it draws it with how these matches have been going so early. I definitely see this as a toss-up. I think Vancouver Titans could win. They have been looking better and better as each stage has progressed. And Toronto Defiant, though, too, like, they had a great stage last stage, and I think that they can continue to ride some of that momentum heading into stage 3. But it's all about how these Junker Queens do, and we can see one change right off the bat there, and the DPS lineup. There's the Mei coming in for King.
Oh yeah, King and Marsa already going pretty low though. Yeah, his Icicle's been quite deadly to low targets, but King, his first match and his first death in the league. Welcome, welcome. At the hands of Hisu, no less. The Vancouver Titans pushed all the way back. Marsa escaping with his life, quite luckily.
You will see the Toronto Defiant cap the first point, and we also get to talk a little bit about the Ashe and how that kind of interplays against the Sojourn. You can see the Dynamites are going to help just bully the Titans away.
Yeah, and May, very classic on this map. Just to lock down things like this. Big axe swing from Mirror. That knife was pretty gigantic too. Hit a few people with that. A lot of additional healing when you do end up getting the adrenaline rush. Much harder for a team to focus you down when you've got heals pumped into you, plus your passive going off. And just like that, Titans find a very quick flip.
Yeah, you could even see that, like, when we actually saw Mirror take some dynamite damage from Hisu, I don't think I saw the health bar move. Like, you had the adrenaline rush healing kind of helping to balance that out with the wounds. But now Toronto Defiant, they've got to go again. It's the rally, though, from the Vancouver Titans that is going to be the first one to get built up here, unless Twilight can manage to match that pace. Getting closer.
Yeah, Aztec is 88. Twilight 85. Oh, dearie me. King's first kill, obviously. There you go. Not bad at all, especially a headshot onto Chorong. That's almost the perfect pick, but King and Aztec end up going down. Bob on the point to play a little bit of a doorkeeper. Spire's aim looking as clean as always, but a little bit unlucky for the rest of his squad, who ended up just trying to force their way onto the point, and they pushed very aggressively in, just leaving kind of a Spire behind to get poke shots. And I guess they were hoping to push the Toronto Defiant around the corner so Spire could have 3 shots, which he did for a short while, but they were not expecting that Hisu Bob would just put a spanner in the works.
No, I mean, that's another nice advantage to having the Ashe over the Sojourn, is that the Bob does provide you with a more point presence, and then also you have the ability to kind of push the enemy team into where you want them to be for the fight.
Oh, what a wicked shot! Chorong, he didn't know where his head went. Nice little overclock there from Aspire, both rallies going off, but before that overhealth can build up, they're already cut down. The Toronto Defiant will let go of the point once again as the Vancouver Titans have Blizzard, they have Beat, they have Rampage coming up, 63% of building. This is turning out to be quite a scrappy one so far.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got the Genji Blade on the side of the Toronto Defiant, and you do have the sound barrier as a response to, you know, if you do end up getting caught in the blizzard. But I am looking at Chorong there to really maneuver the Defiant around some of these bigger ultimates from the Titans, the Blizzard and the Rampage. They've got to get past this point, though.
All right, King. See what you got. Your Blizzard could be massive. Maybe bait Toronto Defiant in. They have beat, which is going to be a bit of an issue. I wonder how the Toronto Defiant are going to handle this one. It looks like they're going to be an aggressor in this fight. The blade comes out from, although Chorong's beat infinitely too late. That beat from the Titans was there to match it, and the overtime ticks down, and King's Blizzard seals the deal on round number 1.
Oh, did you see that too? Aldo actually went over to the hut on the side to wait to be able to get the overtime touch, but then that wall coming in from King just denied that ability to make it there in time. So a very clean round number 1 here for the Titans. And now we get to go over to Sanctum and see it all over again. But King's probably not going to play the Mei this time. I'm more confident in this Genji choice for Sanctum.
Yeah, makes a little bit more sense. Oh, okay, Spire POV. Never going to say no. Oh my god!
So nasty.
Always feel nice. It's like ASMR getting headshots.
It is such,
especially a Sojourn.
Yeah, such a satisfying sound. I do like that, but I also like that we get a chance to see, you know, a bit more of kind of the mirrored compositions coming through. Just again, the Ashe versus the Sojourn here. Hisu already with a nice bit of damage from the Dynamites.
Yeah, everybody's so grouped up, so Dynamite does a fair bit. Oh, Master 20 HP. Amps it up, gets the commanding shout. Now a big boop away. Got to help somebody. Oh, Hisu's off the map. Not sure what happened, but he's dead. Not great. They trade DPSs though, as Twilight marches forward with the rest of the team as they isolate and kill Aspire. Master with no boop to be had, and resets for Although. What will happen to Hisu then? Maybe a little bit of a slip up? Not sure, but they still end up winning the fight, so that's all that matters.
Tactical strategy of just falling off into the ledge. No, I'm just joking. He ended up actually coach gunning himself off into the abyss.
Away from King, but into the pit. I mean, he was 1 HP, probably would have died anyway, but...
I at least denied the ult charge, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So. Go game.
Take those. Small advantages, that's what Overwatch is about, especially in ult charge. Although, huge dash. Speaking of ult charge, he's 90% toward that blade already. King lagging behind ever so slightly, but he is chunking away at the health bars of the Toronto Defiant on the sidelines. But now with that, although he gets one more dash and earns himself a blade, the Vancouver Titans, they're trapped in a corner. Although he's not going to let you escape. Aspire does end his life, but the rest of the Defiant here to clean up.
Titans, though, they haven't had a chance to use any of their ultimates yet, but the fact that the Defiant were able to win that fight with just the blade alone does still leave them with 4 ultimates to be able to deal with the slate that Titans are coming up with. Double support ultimates for both sides. You've got the Bob as well, so, you know, if you see the Titans go in one direction, you can use the Bob to funnel them in somewhere else. Oh my gosh. Unless King just goes down now.
All right, charge in. There's the Bob. Blade gets unleashed, but double beats. Vancouver Titans and Toronto Defiant. They're healthy. Someone died. It was hashtag double Bob kill. Thank you very much, Hisu. All right. Toronto Defiant now 75%. The Titans, well, they used that B in that fight, but they still have that rampage. And the way the Toronto Defiant are playing right now, all the way up in their spawn, mind you, they might make some good use of it. Now, they have the rally to come back in, but someone's going to need to touch. There's only 10% before Defiant tie up these rounds. Yeah,
Masa might have to make a quick dash over there with a wall ride or something, but look at who's stopping him at the door.
There's the rally. Good luck killing anybody, and good luck getting to the point. That was a really nice early push there from Toronto Defiant. Hopper just lining them up and knocking them down like they're Skittles in a bowling alley. I mean, that map, I feel, or that specific point in the map, that little mega health pack room, is actually perfect for Junker Queen to use the ult, because everybody has to funnel through anyway, but so you go from one end to the other, in one door, out the other door, and then you're safe. Like, it's kind of insane.
Still, Skittles on a bowling alley? Is that what you just said?
Skittles, yes. Skittles. Aren't they? They're called pins, but aren't they called Skittles too? Or am I thinking of something else? No, I'm obviously not thinking about the sweet, but or the candy for the American viewers.
Well, that's too bad. I was imagining Skittles on a bowling, like actual candy on a bowling alley, but that's fine. Sorry, I just got so caught up on that because I was like, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I'm pretty. Oh no, you know what Skittles are? I think Skittles is like miniature bowling. I don't know what I was saying, but I meant pins in a bowling alley. I don't know what Skittles came to mind.
They do line themselves up that way to be knocked down. That is very true. As Toronto Defiant set themselves up to knock down another team of the Titans.
Aspire in a really nice position. Unfortunately, Miro not quite so lucky. Nice little team wipe. Ooh, goodbye, Aspire. Oh, Charon doing a fair bit of damage in that fight, I would say. Getting a couple little final blows.
Yeah, I think that, like, Chorong just plays a very aggressive Lucio sometimes, and I think that pairs very well with Hoppa's aggressive style of tank play. I mean, the Junker Queen does seem like it's a nice fit for the Toronto Defiant, and they definitely have all the pieces there. The Titans can, you know, keep themselves in this game, but the fact that Toronto Defiant, they went 100-0 in that last round, and Hisu just getting another reset here.
Yeah, this is what we spoke about with Hisu at the top of the game. He can just have some like freakish performances on the hit scan. He's always somebody to be feared in the server. He had himself a Bob in that fight, and the initial dynamite damage too was enough for the Titans not to go in. And it delayed them long. Okay, well. Okay, well.
I love how we highlight Hisu and then he goes down to a big click here from Aspire, but point still stands absolutely that I think also Hisu being on the Ashe, it provides so much consistent damage to the team.
Ooh, wow. Aspire quite easily dispatching with the DPS of the Toronto Defiant. Toronto Defiant still want to fight this though. He's just coming back with the bomb, can just launch it onto the point as Twilight keeps their team healthy with that rally. The overhealth is now fading away for the Toronto Defiant as the Vancouver Titans use one of their own as now the stalemate begins. Don't worry, it's not another 2 minutes and 40 seconds of no kills as all the support ultimates have been used and although it's pulled the blade! Oh, Massa! Almost Ajax, but no, luckily got that off before the blade hit him. Aspire with 2 nasty shots. Can he make it a third? Looking Hisu's way, but has to deal with a brig right in front of him. A little flick, no, but the disruptor shots are enough. The Vancouver Titans wipe the Defiant and claim the point.
Really big fight for them as well because they still have the blade and they still have the rampage, and if Toronto Defiant don't get this sound barrier timed correctly, then that could be another great fight win here for the Titans, and they definitely need those, knowing that Toronto Defiant are in that one fight territory if they take back control.
American line is trying to define up with his rampage. Another pretty easy rampage spot, I feel like. It's so enclosed.
Down those stairs.
As the blade, nice little boo from Twilight. Chorong's going to use that beat, pushing King all the way back to the rest of his team. Good trade though. You always want to trade that blade for the beat or another support ultimate. A massive rampage from Mirror. Can the Vancouver Titans finish this up? They are all pretty low, but Chorong and Twilight are keeping the rest of the team alive. Although he's dead, but they still have Hisu, who is a majority of their damage. He takes down Mirror, but the Vancouver Titans are still coming out on top. There's Hisu's life put to an end, and with 60% on the board, Titans looking good for this next one with Rally and Beat coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just so much sustain, and you know you're going to have to deal with Hisu's Bob sooner or later, and that's definitely going to be coming up as well. It's going to be about timing once again, though, Jaws. Who's going to rally first? Who's going to rally next? Aztec's going to get it online before Twilight, but does that mean it's going to be used first?
Double support's coming online. Oh, Hisu again, man. It's either Hisu or Aspire starting these fights off with headshots. There's the bob, there's the damage. Rally from Twilight, and in fact, Rally! Ooh, Rally from Aztec. Yep, that went a little bit of miss. Masters, I guess, at least got beat for this last fight, but you know what Toronto Defiant are going to do? Of course, they're going to play all the way up. They've got a little bit of overhealth, but that will fade away in just a moment, and there's no support ultimates here. So Toronto Defiant, I mean, the Vancouver Titans are going to have another time to engage.
Yeah, they need that sound barrier, though, and they need to be able to get to this point.
Oh, Hisu's already dead. Again, Aspire starts off the fight with the headshots. The beat for the Vancouver Titans, but Mirror doesn't receive any of that overhealth. He is pretty low and needs a desperate pocket. He doesn't quite get it as Twilight ends up killing him. Aspire now with the overclock has to end this fight before Hisu can get back in time. Hisu switching over to the Symmetra? Okay, it might not even be needed, and I don't think it will be. The beat from Chorong. It was late, and it's going to end this round and end the map. The Toronto Defiant, one map up over the Titans.
What a good showing from the Vancouver Titans, though. You know, this definitely looks like it's going to be a great series between these two teams. And the Titans' pieces are fitting together pretty seamlessly, it feels like. But the Defiant just once again kind of continuing the momentum and the synergy that they've developed as a team. And yeah, they'll start up 1-0 in the series.
Feeling pretty good, and having a close series against a team that's quite literally middle of the pack right now, 6-6. It's got to be a bit of a confidence booster to King. He didn't have any like crazy wild pop-off moments, but he looked pretty good on the May. That is for sure. We'll see if that continues. We're going on to the next map just after this. Alright, welcome back. I did do a little bit of research on Skittles to make sure I wasn't going crazy. And it was a game played in Great Britain and only Great Britain, so that's why that's why you didn't instantly get it, because I was like, wow, no wait, am I the insane one? But apparently It's been played for centuries, around like over 500 years, in like various clubs and stuff like that in Western England, the Midlands, Southern Wales, and Southeastern Scotland. So there you go. Skittles the game. It's like a miniature form of bowling. Like there you go. There's some history lore. Here's some Skittles lore. But yeah, I was convinced I was going crazy. I've been saying this wrong the whole time.
I just had a very funny image in my head of like the candy like skirting across like a bowling lane or something, like curling almost. Like that's what I had in my mind. Like, so. Woo. I had to ask the question, but
hey, that could be fun too.
Hey, look at that! Guess where we're going? We're going to the new map that we have shown off in a few series before, but Paraíso.
Yeah, I can't. It's a fun map. I think when I initially played it, it's a tough map to assault. I must say that was my first impressions when I jumped on it.
Definitely.
With these kind of fast comps and how quickly they can rotate, it kind of, you can kind of get around that small little bridge, but it's just kind of timing your cooldowns, timing your speed boost, timing the commanding shout to either get under the team and straight to the point, or under the little bridge and then around to the back. Like, it's definitely a tough map to attack, I will say. And I remember watching a couple of the Contenders games as well, and I saw one of the teams play the Sigma on the defense, because they have that high ground that like encapsulates the point. We're not going to see that here. I think most teams are more than happy just to stick on the Junker Queen, but it might be a small evolution we see later down the line.
I think so. We have definitely seen that adaptation in Stage 2, where Sigma does get played a little bit more often on the defense. We see that on Midtown a lot, and then maybe see something a bit more aggressive, like a Winston or so, and on the attack. But yeah, we're going to see that Widowmaker just for a quick scope and a potential pick, but the reason why this first point is so tough, I feel like, is because you have something like a Sojourn or an Ashe that can get a quick pick. But, well, that's not good for the Defiant.
Oh, where'd he go? Where'd Twilight go? Oh my god! The camera wasn't even on it. It was like, okay, a little bit of a slow start, and then the whole of the Vancouver Titans just hit that go button. Commanding shout, plus the amp to speed people through. Oh, Hisu, you're not in a good spot. Nice coach gun, though. Can he escape? No, he cannot. Master Joseph down. Good, quick offense here for the Titans. Toronto Defiant still have an opportunity to come back as Twilight is on the point, but he is alone. Yeah, and gets killed off.
Oh, you saw the Disruptor shot as well, just kind of splitting up the rest of the team. This is going to be a quick take here for the Vancouver Titans. So fast. They were able to just get Aldo kind of out of the game. Oh, Hoppa? Is Hoppa? No. It's like Hoppa surely does not get away with 1 HP.
No, he's good. That's very fast. Taking 5 minutes. Wow. Very,
so much
very
time.
Quick. And now it's just like a battle, like jostling around this high ground. Most teams right now are just holding here. It's been good to see teams adapt around new heroes, but when new maps get put into the game and having teams like show different flavors of that as we go into either the the qualifiers or the tournaments is really interesting. So I'm super excited to see how this kind of evolves. This high ground here is so oppressive though. Hisu has such a long sight line to throw dynamites just like this over the payload and try and pop people's heads. Speaking about popping people's heads.
So does Aspire.
Yeah, so Aspire popping Hopper's head like a watermelon. There you go.
Yeah, I was like, Hisu might have that, but Aspire seems to...
I guess watermelons don't really pop. Maybe a balloon was better.
I think they can pop. Have you seen the rubber band trick?
Oh,
no, like you put like all the rubber bands and then it just like bursts open. There you go.
Yeah.
A watermelon.
That's a horrible thought about comparing that to someone's head, but I mean, you know, vaporize, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's see how Toronto Defiant end up defending at this point now, because the Vancouver Titans, look at the ultimates they got online. Almost 4 coming up right now. Aspire's got overclock, he's going to unleash it, although trying to dash the front line ends up getting insta headshot. Toronto Defiant have got Bob coming up in a couple of seconds, but Aspire just going to town right now. Mirror takes care of Twilight, and now Toronto Defiant don't have supports. The Bob might be there, but he's pushed off. And the Toronto Defiant taking point B with ease. Big grin on the face of Aspire right now.
He deserves it. Like, please, like, you should be happy with that performance. Vancouver Titans, I don't even think they needed the rally there. Aztec just layered that on top just in case, and also I kind of like that now you don't have the option of layering both support ultimates at the same time. But honestly, Titans might just be able to make this work with a clean run. Josh, they have like 4 minutes and 40 seconds right now. Toronto Defiant haven't won a single team fight yet.
Well, they got ults. That's what's important. Although they got to contend with the Blade, the Beat, and the Rampage from the Titans. They're moving this payload at quite a speed. You can jostle in between those doors to try and keep it contested. The Blade comes out. There's the Beat from both sides. Now target focus begins. Rampage hits 5 on the Vancouver Titans side, though. Can Toronto Defiant actually finish these kills up? No one's gone down. Finally, King is eliminated. But 5-man anti from Hopper will seal it. It took them a little while to finish them off, but in the end, they made it work, and they've halted the payload for the first time this map.
Okay, but oh my gosh, like the fact that Vancouver Titans held on as long as they did, everybody was like at 20% HP, and that was just kind of nuts. Vancouver Titans even had the ability to back up a little bit here, but of course the Defiant are going to play a bit more aggressively. That does give Aspire a lot of...
Oh, yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of risk.
Fire the spawn doors, why not? Oh, Junkweed so low. Oh, nice reflect kill. Good meat shot there by Hopper to kill Mirror. Payload inching its way back, but it shouldn't matter all too much. The Toronto Defiant more than willing to scrap around the spawn doors. No ult, so it's literally just neutral fights right now.
But the Bob is coming up for Hisu, and so if you're going to unleash that at the spawn doors, then you're going to force the Vancouver Titans once again to go into the position where you'd rather take the fight. I mean, Hisu is getting so close.
Yeah, you're going for 6-man on the field in just a second. Bob will make his grand appearance. King dicing with death a little bit as Hisu is just firing pop shot after pop shot, just holding down the fort. Card's still moving back, so they are losing progress right now as they get spawn camped. It's up to the Toronto Defiant. When do they want to go? Well, they got to go soon as Twilight and Chorong end up going down in the same frame, it looked like there. Bob not doing all too much again. Hisu, unfortunately, your support's died as soon as you use the ult. Just unfortunate timing. Well, 10k DPI.
I mean, sure. The strafing, though, from Hisu did make that overclock a little lackluster. But, you know, Titans, they've got both support ultimates online. They are making their way towards that final destination. This Dragon Blade from the Defiant has to be big here.
Well, they're going to pull it. Oh, Marsa Ajaxed! Oh, dear, up in the skies. Northo had him in his sights. An Ajax from Marsa. The beat cancelled as the Vancouver Titans are sent back to spawn.
Oh, that feels so bad. That feels bad, but at least Aztec didn't use the rally too. I mean, the Vancouver Titans went into this third point with 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and so they still have 1:40. But, oh, jeez, Defiant.
Another chunky rampage from Hopper. Hit almost every single member of the Vancouver Titans, but that rally from Aztec was perfectly timed. Both Brigittas now dead, and Hopper looking for more. He hits the knife, although finishes up. And in fact, a beat for the Toronto Defiant too to keep them in. Okay.
Why not?
All right, all the way up to the spawn doors. I mean, Twilight's going to come back in just a moment. But man, what an ult from Hopper there.
That was huge. I mean, some of these rampages have been absolutely massive, and I love getting a chance to see how much that influences some of these team fights. But Titans, I think Toronto Defiant have correctly identified that they are going to be coming back with a few ults, and they do not want to fall victim to that close hold, resulting in potentially a downfall and a completion of this map for the Titans. So they've got to back up and spread out a little bit.
All right, it's Mirror's turn now with that rampage, but the Toronto Defiant are playing on the high ground currently. Spy starts it off well. Isu dead, although kills Master, although kills Master. And there comes the blade from King. What can he get done? He's chasing down the Lucio. He had a reset on the dash. Oh, fancy footwork from Chorong. Stops King's blade getting almost any value, as although is cleaning up. Isu comes back with a little bit of revenge onto King. And with 10 seconds to go, the Vancouver Titans not finding a place to use that rampage.
No, and they might not even get a chance to. I mean, all though is going to be going up to the spawn doors.
Oh, there's Mirror. Uses the ult out the spawn doors, but yep, perfectly put Rose. They're not going to have a chance, as Toronto Defiant knew they could play up to the spawn. That was an incredible beginning the round there from the Vancouver Titans. They had, what, 5 minutes going into that third phase?
It wasn't until the cart got stopped in third point that Toronto Defiant won a team fight. That was blazing fast, but unfortunately that time bank just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Toronto Defiant just with unbelievable pressure on the spawn, and that's what honestly I kind of like seeing the spawn camps. Not gonna lie, like
they're funny.
I mean, Hopper using the rampage. Like, look how large that was. It hit 4 people. It was Aztec who actually semi-saved that fight with a rally as soon as that came out. But with the rally countering the rampage, it's pretty tough because you end up building up the overhelp, and it's not instant. Oh, this is the Ajax. He hits him once.
Oh no!
And he hits him again. Oh my word! Actually, no.
Down.
Chorong. Yeah, no. Chorong booped Masa. Masa was trying to get the beat up onto the high ground, or like either on that
like the upper layer, the ledge, right? Because you jump up a little bit, and then you kind of decrease the latency of it by going to a higher ledge. Yeah, that boop from Chorong was massive, and then Aldo just finished it up.
Yeah, that was incredible bit of teamwork. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh, body shot. Not today. Spy was brave enough to stare him into the eyes with that one.
That could have been disastrous, but it wasn't. So Toronto Defiant just going to have to go the cheeky way through. Might be tough. I mean, Aldo is going to be able to get up close and personal, but when you also have King there with a deflect of his own, it does make it a bit more difficult to get that poke damage in with the Ash. So you're waiting for these dynamites to have a big impact here.
Going over the top. Yeah, you might as well just throw it into the corner there. That's normally where a lot of the defenders end up holding if they're a little bit low. King with a nice kill on his like for like. There you go, good defense thus far. Is what you want to see from the Toronto Defiant, just all-out aggression. Because when Toronto had the tempo in their favor, it was devastating for the Titans. So, you know, play their own game. Play up to the spawn doors. Go off, King.
I was waiting for it. I was like, yeah, it has to happen at least once. King has now gone through the full initiation, right? Getting his first death, his first kill, his first punt.
His first spawn cam.
Yeah, just everything.
Hasn't had his first ult cancel yet, though. That's the rite of passage.
You're right. Wait for it. Maybe not this match, though, but wait for it. You know, Vancouver Titans, though, still, like, if they have the rally, they can just continue to play this up-close and personal game here with the Defiant. Aldo's already so low!
Yeah, look at Spy's vantage point. Oh, sitting all the way at the back. Toronto Defiant unable to really make a move. I think they're scared of what Titans have already got in their back pocket. Of course, we can see both rallies used. Okay, now just wait for the overhead to build up a little bit, then go in. Titans gonna have to respond with another beat. Both support ultimates now out. It's up to the DPS to try and find kills. The blade from King is pretty good. He gets coach gunned. He gets the reset of Hisu. Dashes back to the rest of his team to help finish the job. 1 minute and 49 seconds to go as all support ults now off the board.
I mean, that just feels so bad, though, if you're the Defiant. Because you really wish, I think, that those ultimates would have been enough to be a response to the Blade and also, of course, the support coming in from the Titans. But now it's Rampage and DPS ults. Rampage first, see what follow-up needs to happen. Toronto Defiant do have an extra DPS ult in their pocket. But is the Bob going to be enough?
Well, Bob has arrived. He's cleared out a lot of the space and it's forced Titans all the way back. They don't want to fight in that small corridor, but Hisu goes down again. Dude, Aspire and Hisu are just trading these initial kills. It's really what is opening up the game, both for Titans and Defiant right now. Dragon Blade Fall, though, receives double pack and an amp of healing as Masa gets chased down. He is antied from the ult from Hopper. However, Aspire and King just cleaning up on what was a good initiation from the Toronto Defiant. It's kind of thwarted by Aspire using that overclock and then King following up with a nice couple of kills. Hopper's going pretty low and is now just up to Titans to clean this one up. Maybe stagger a couple of people as they continue to hold. 30 seconds to go for Toronto now.
This is coming down to the wire. Could Titans get the full hold here? We're seeing a panic switch from the Defiant to switch Aldo over to the Pharah. You know that's desperation mode when you're going to use something that's not as meta of a pick right now. But you might need this long-range damage.
Yeah. Blade from King, his target, the Brig. He gets a reset and Charing is dead. There's no hope to touch the point now. Vancouver Titans holding Toronto on first to tie up the series.
Wow, what a phenomenal defensive hold. You can see Aspire just chuckling to himself. You've seen that smile. The whole team is smiles right now. And I think the Titans, they're just kind of feeling themselves going into this matchup. I know that first map didn't go in their favor, but it still feels like King is sliding into this lineup really, really nicely so far.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good, that's for sure. And he's going up against some big names. Hisu, Twilight, these are some OGs. All right, they tie the series up. We're going to jump to a break as we dive into map number 3. forget to pick up the Royal Knight Mercy skin before it's too late. The Mid-Season Madness Legendary skin is on sale now through August 19th. For only 200 League tokens. You should have enough by now, if I'd hazard a guess. So yeah, you can pick that one up in-game. So yeah, go do that right now, and then come back and watch some more games. Vancouver Titans and the Toronto Defiant currently tied up. Are we going to have another Game 5? There have been so many Game 5s over the last couple of days.
I'd be pretty happy with that. I'd also be really happy if you and I don't get a C9 yet.
True.
I know it's going to happen, but like not today, please. Not today.
I like that, but look, that's going to be impossible. There's going to be a C9 at one point or another, at least one per day at this rate, I think. Let's have a look at Aspire's stats from the last map. I mentioned it during the cast, but him and Hisu were just trading these like first bloods like over and over again in these fights, and his Sojourn has been looking good. I feel like more often than not, I'd have to actually check the stat numbers, but he's getting more first picks onto Hisu than Hisu's getting onto him. Hero damage done per 10k, not bad at all. Quite a few final blows, and a lot of them being railgun kills. Mixed with the overclock, and only 3 deaths, so sitting in a nice KDA currently.
Absolutely. I mean, just 18 final blows to 3 deaths, I think is really fantastic. And on top of that, you know, Aspire also barely missed a deadlift on Nepal as well. I know that map did not go in the Titans' favor, but you could definitely see how they were able to turn it down on Paraíso with that full hold. Like, that was just nuts. We have another map upon us, though, to see who is going to finally take a lead in this series. Junkertown. Junker Queen on Junkertown? I feel like that joke has been made already.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't
and
get a chance to.
And it'll be made another few more times, don't worry. You can make it, everybody will make it. It's all good. Everybody gets the single round of jokes in until the viewers are sick of it.
Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually.
Let's see what the Vancouver Titans want to do, because, come on, you gotta spawn hold. There's no shot you don't.
I think you have to. I think, like, at this point in the stage, you have to. I will not take anything less than a spawn hold. Wait, but do you do the thing on this map where you would have to like creep up to the spawn doors, or do you think everybody knows at this point there's going to be a close hold, so you don't like crouch and then like sneak up?
Yeah, it feels like everybody knows already, and you can like peer out the little window quite quickly, so you can kind of guess.
I miss the days of like sneaking up on the spawn door and surprising people, but that's okay.
Yeah, oh, not quite on the spawn doors, but they're still holding fairly close. I guess they want to give a sightline to Aspire, so he can set up on the high ground, but I mean, he's just going to do exactly the same thing. He's playing Widow, he could be playing Sojourn or Ashe here. It would still have an enormous effect. Oh, nice little double, nice little headshot there into King. Helps although finish that kill. Although, yeah, look at that. Funnily enough, Aspire's getting another first blood for the Titans.
That's not surprising. I mean, this is still a defense I think Toronto Defiant can crack open, but oh my god, Torong and Twilight.
Almost a little honorable 1v1. Commanding shout for Mirror. He's alive well again, or not quite so well as he is alive, or was alive, as the hold has been broken. Just time and delay. At least you get like a couple of fights on this point. Okay, kill the sports. Charge. Oh, King kills Twilight. Has he got a reset? No, he does not. He'll flick in a headshot from Hisu, and that'll be done. Still a minute off the board. Not bad. Not complaining.
It still buys you enough time to get in 2 more recontests. So the Titans, I feel like, are going to be pretty happy about that, knowing that they also have the Lucio to just kind of get them in a little bit faster. But look at the control. Defiant are just going to get up very close, like Titans already.
Wow, yeah, you see the disappointed look in Master's face there. Didn't expect to go down that early. the hands of Although once again. Rally for...
What?
Well, rally for both teams. As Hisu ends up falling to a coach gun replay. That's something you don't see too often at all. Toronto Defiant aren't quite moving the payload just yet, just happy with brawling out and then getting the objective. But they actually need to kill King. And in fact, a B is going to be invested by Toronto to try and end this fight. Aspire now has to back all the way up because Master went down first in the fight for Titans. He's not going to use that beat to go for a big re-engage just yet. Going to have to wait for the rest of his team to go once more, but it looks very contestable.
It does, but the choke points are being held down so cleanly by the Defiant. You take so much damage coming in.
Oh, Bob gets hella poops. Not sure where he went. Although pulls the blade, he's done enough damage to earn that and then some. There's the Bob kills. He's used Bob carrying Toronto.
Yeah, Hisu is 11-3 right now.
I'll have you know, Hisu's Bob is 11-3 actually. I think it's all Bob. Personally, I think it's all Bob.
Is it all Bob?
You know what it should do? It should divide or like separate the kill numbers, so you can't claim credit for Bob's kills.
I
should
think
have his
so
own little
too.
stat card. I think that's the most fair.
I, for one, do welcome our Omnic overlords. So, been a
Well,
while.
unfortunately, he doesn't have a Bob now.
No.
Might have to hope for one. Commanding shout to back up from the blade, but King's already got the resets. So much AoE damage. And with a commanding shout behind you too, that Genji does not die, and he gets extra speed, so pretty tough. And this is another horrible choke point to run into. And because the way these comps end up interacting, like, the Titans are more than happy just to continually running into people on the high ground, because Mira has the rampage. You come up on height, he's going to hit that Q key.
I don't think it matters if you're up on height or he could just drop down. Like, if Toronto Defiant move in at all, Mirror is ready with that rampage. Looking for it.
He is. Trying to look for a small opening. Twilight's got the rally, so he needs to kind of judge when Mirror's actually going to go for this rampage. He needs to activate the rally first, ideally, and then the rampage hits. So the overhealth is still building, so they don't instantly all die. Oh, commanding shout used by Toronto Defiant. That rally coming in from both teams now. Mirror holding on to that rampage just for the time being. Aztag trying as he must to get those cookies up onto the high ground. He got booped down to the low. If he was there for much longer, I think Toronto Defiant would have rounded on him. There is the rampage, only hits one this time though, and now Mirror's in a little bit of trouble, but that healing from the adrenaline rush, yeah, a couple of people with that axe swing. No way he's falling from that.
That was just an unkillable Junker Queen. Absolutely. I mean, we talk about Genji being so survivable in this meta, but Junker Queen as well, of course, has such a large health pool when you consider how much the adrenaline rush is really able to help sustain you. Masa has the sound barrier, Aspire has the overclock. This could be some explosive damage here. Look at how Vancouver Titans are playing around these stairs. Toronto Defiant don't really have a choice except to try to go behind them. Oh my gosh, no tiny Overwatch, please.
Yeah, it kind of sucks though for Toronto Defiant. I guess you're kind of hoping that the payload was near that door so they could juggle it a little bit, and then they could at least stop it from moving back as it's continuing to do so. A complete swap of sides here. Yes, Defiant are on the attack, by the way. Bob on the point to contest as there's only a minute to go, so one team is going to have to do something. Blade's been pulled, beats have been popped, and all those trying to find kills. The resets are good enough. He gets taken care of by Aztac, but Hopper's there to clean up. They swap sides, and they end up on the attack again, and they got the payload going.
Now Defiant are going to have to play a little bit more upfront by Titan spawns, because Titans still have a chance to come back in and contest. And there's only 35 seconds remaining here for Toronto Defiant to get this second point.
Rally for, rampage even for Hopper. Aspires in the perfect position with this overclock as Chorong falls first. Overtime is approaching with a 0.49 meters to go. Hopper's in a little bit of trouble. Use the rampage to get out of there. It does end up hitting Mira, but now it's about focus fire for the Toronto Defiant. Mira doesn't end up going down, and the Vancouver Titans are going to hold them just before this second point. No checkpoint for you. Rampage comes out. Chorong was the one to touch, but gets pushed away before he can do so. Toronto Defiant, they've got victory in their sights. They need to defend just before that second point. But the Vancouver Titans, I want to call it too early. They're looking pretty clean. Maybe even staring their first win.
That'd be pretty big. Yeah, they're still looking for one. And they've been close. You know, at the end of stage 2, I felt like they were getting really close to being able to take a win, but it just was so close yet so far, it felt like. Now, though, it really is just right in front of them. I think that they are playing around the strengths of the Toronto Defiant really well. They know that Hisu is a fantastic marksman. And so play a little bit more not in the open. I think it's working out for them, using just that natural cover and then also just having that survivability from all those different cooldowns. Titans are doing pretty nice today.
Yes, they are. Now, how are they going to counteract this spawn hole? That's the question. Hisu's Ash has been pretty decent, but you mentioned Aspire at the very top of this map, almost having a deadlift on Nepal, like going crazy on the Sojourn. He's really been a massive asset to the Vancouver Titans. And the funny thing too, Aspire's playing against his old team. He got brought on fairly late into the Toronto Defiant and made an unbelievable impact on the Tracer. He was someone that I don't think was going to be a free agent for long after last season. I'm glad he's found his home on the Vancouver Titans and now trying to draw them to that first win.
They might be close to doing it. It does look like Vancouver Titans have been able to break out of the spawn doors. Pick
Good
2.
kill to start off with, yeah. Glad I spoke about him because he delivers over and over and over again.
And the space now that Vancouver Titans can take here. You can already see that Aspire has left the building. Just not going to be on the payload.
He's left the building.
No.
He's bashing down the Toronto Defiant headquarters main door, demanding a W.
Oh,
demanding a W right now.
Oh.
He might just get one if he continues this performance. Toronto, though, still have a nice little push onto this point. But that's wow, that disruptor shot hit every single person on the Toronto Defiant, sent them all pretty low. Axe swing onto Mirror and a knife throw too to draw him even closer. Focus fire is good for Hopper as the blade not quite there for King just yet, but the rally short is for Twilight and Aztec. Only a trade currently, but with Mirror dead, Toronto Defiant, this is their go time. It's hard to chunk through these health bars after that rally, but they're able to control the space and the payload just for the time being. They have to wait for all those to come back, though, to fight as 5.
And Mirror is now back, too, so here we go again.
They're looking at Aspire. Well, they should be looking at Aspire. He's looking to open up this fight again. He's got 100 charge, looking for that headshot. A swing and a miss onto Chorong as he activates the beat behind cover in order to not Ajax. Master's going to do exactly the same thing as everybody's health bars get generously increased. Now the Bob joining the fight. A 6v5, a little bit unfair. Let's even the playing field. Or at least Vancouver Titans tried. King and Aztec end up going down as Bob leaves the scene. They're going to hold the payload.
Vancouver did get quite a few ults out of the Defiant, though, and so now, you know, as long as they can kind of kite away from all those blade, they should be able to fire back with a blade of their own. Aspire, though, cannot get picked off here. Needs to continue to open up these fights with a big pick. It's tough to charge up these shots, though, to make sure that you are getting this one-shot potential.
Well, all right. Blade from although he got the commanding shout. Mirror just got absolutely obliterated in the front line. A very quick fight for the Toronto Defiant, even trying to find a stagger kill on to King. He's not going to go down surely, but no, he's 1 HP. Reset for although he can get out of there quite quickly. Toronto's
so close.
Still sitting on that rampage.
I really think that King wanted to be able to give a little bit more ult charge over to Aztec, but just didn't quite get there in time. And now Defiant, it's sub 1 minute. They're going to get aggressive. They know that cart's moving backwards.
Oh, 2-man anti from that rampage. King and Master in trouble. Yeah, King was way too deep. And now he's put to sleep. The Toronto Defiant going to continue this spawn, hold, resets. After reset for although as he's just cleaning up with the help of Hisu. There's 30 seconds to go, Rose. The payload is still moving back, and at this point, you're afforded yet another fight if this payload moves back even more.
Exactly. That's what Defiant are hoping for. Like, if the Titans do win this one, Aspire's gotta get this headshot.
I mean, yeah, there's just almost no way. You're in that small corner. Blade to exit the spawn doors. They're trying to force Toronto Defiant back. They're playing tiny Overwatch. Blade ends up running out, though, and the Junker Queen's knife a little bit bigger than King's. Mira does take care of Hisu, though, in the side, and manages to get the touch with the help of Masa. Commanding Shout to heal him all the way back up, as Aztec now with a rally puts himself on the payload. It's a bit of a 3-on-3, but Hopper's going pretty low. It's only got to rely on that Lucio healing, so he's a little bit worse for wear compared to the Vancouver Titans. A double anti from that Rampage, and now Mira is in trouble. Masa earning the beat could be their ticket to this first point, but looking quite unlikely now as King ends up going down.
Oh, so scrappy. The sound barrier has to keep them alive here.
Yeah, Hisu with the bomb coming online rather quickly. He's on the low ground. Twilight's actually switched over to the Ana, a hero he's quite famous for, and now just taking pop shots to the enemy team. The bomb's been put on the point to stall, but it is only Hisu and Hopper in the front line. The Vancouver Titans have control of the payload, but their health bars are dwindling. Hisu's bomb ends up disappearing, and so does Mira, and they step off the point for not a brief moment as overtime disappears. The Toronto Defiant now at match point.
That was such a scrappy fight, and I feel like Titans were just so close to being able to push that cart just a touch more forward. But that disruptor shot that ended up coming through from Aspire, you could see that like Mira was trying to dance in it, but it just wasn't enough to keep the rest of the Defiant away from the payload to bully them off. So now, I don't know, we're going back and forth, Jaws, but can Defiant just close it out here?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to jump to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We've got map number 4 on your screen soon. Welcome back. A lot of elated Toronto Defiant fans at their HQ over in Canada. Yeah, they'd be going crazy right now. Love to see it, love to see it.
It honestly just makes me so happy to see that Overwatch fans get a chance to enjoy matches together again, because I feel like that's what the Overwatch League is all about, is getting a chance to cheer on your team with other people that also like your team.
Yeah, I mean, just fan events and just like with the Arlington homestand or like the tournaments, like just anything that involves the fans being able to watch games together, and even better if they're live on a stage, you know, like that's what esports is all about at the end of the day, and that's what, yeah, it's just enjoyment. It's just lovable around. You love to see it. It's been a bit of a weird, obviously, couple of years, but it's still nice to see people being able to, you know, chill with their friends and just hang out together and watch some classic Overwatch. Although, I guess not so classic right now, with Junker Queen being better. I guess that's brand new, but yeah, regardless. Well, they're definitely hoping for a win. Toronto Defiant are one map away. Look, Vancouver Titans is still performing exceptionally well with their brand new DPS King, who is starting today.
They absolutely are, and you can still see that, like, Titans, they've put in a lot of work between the end of stage number 2 and the start of stage 3, just consistently getting better and better. But I think for the Toronto Defiant, this is kind of another day in the office for them, when it looks like, you know, Happa just kind of slotting into that Junker Queen really well. Charong too. I mean, it's not been a flashy performance by any means, just with the kill feed, but I think that Charong has just been timing like the speed boosts and just the positioning on the map really well to make sure that Toronto Defiant are able to get the angles necessary for Hisu and Aldo. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it really has. I was pretty hyped on Charong coming into the Toronto Defiant, as well as Twilight. It's a rookie and a veteran, right? Twilight's been around forever. Like, I looked this up the other day, actually, of how many players are currently playing in the league that were playing at the very beginning of like Apex kind of thing, and Twilight is one of those players. And in fact, there are a couple other players on the same team that Twilight was on that are still playing in the league. It's insane stuff. He has been around for that long and still performing at this kind of level, which is good to see. Twilight at the very end, I want to mention, when he came back on the Ana, that's such a big brain play. You didn't have the rally, and you can just sit up on the high ground. The anti-nade can just win these final fights, and your damage too. You can't underestimate the Ana damage output as well as that healing. So
for sure,
I just wanted to point that out real fast. We are going on to a push map, and it is New Queen Street, which is, funnily enough, in Toronto. So
yeah, home field advantage.
Toronto Defiant can wrap it up here.
Yep. They might be able to. I mean, hey, I can't count Vancouver Titans out of it yet either. Like, they're also Canadian. Haha. That's the best analysis I can give you for that. No, but like, I think that we still have some upset potential here for the Titans. They're still looking for a series win, and they were able to even out the series when it came down to Paraíso. So I think that maybe New Queen Street as well could be something that they could tie up the series again with. We might just get another 5-mapper. Seems to be the the flavor of the stage, 5 maps.
Yeah, so far, definitely. It's been a wild ride. Like I said, a quite emotional day yesterday. Reverse sweeps, denied reverse sweeps, so denial of a reverse sweep here. Like, man, it is insane. Right. Toronto Defiant, they're going to run with the same thing. Oh, one day we're going to see. I saw a Spire hover in the Bastion, but like one day we're going to see.
Maybe.
One day we're going to see Bastion meta, but yeah, not today, not today.
All right, well, we do see similar compositions to what we've seen before, and you can see both teams using the commanding shout to be able to get that movement speed buff in order to make it to the statue. They basically both make it here at the same time, but where's Masa?
Yeah, Masa's in a little walkway there. You got to be careful with the boops. They're still as deadly as they've ever been. Nice little double tap onto Hisu. He gets booped away himself, but not before he managed to kill a DPS. Trying to fight, we'll lose this first fight.
Means that we will get a chance to see Titans take control of this. Wow. Yeah, I don't even care about the bot moving forward. I want to see more Masa final blows. Hello?
There's been a lot of Lucio violence, I will say. Like, Lucio final blows, I feel like at an all-time high recently. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, maybe it's a little bit of recency bias like today, but I feel like a lot of the Lucios are getting final blows, whether it's Master Chorong, whoever's on it, Violet.
I think it's just been Overwatch 2 in general. You can have more of these pop-off moments from the supports because you don't have as many shields, and like the Lucio, of course, you just turn that speed song on and go for it.
Yeah. Oh, nice little boop onto Twilight. Did have the bash to get away. Competed with the slow build, or at least tried to, but Aspire opens up the fight. Why not? He's always doing it, and he's always picking off Hisu. Wasn't a headshot this time, just a body shot, but it will do. Titan's gonna get the point of Butts Crash mode. Wow. Okay. The Toronto Defiant unable to stop them from getting that checkpoint, and Twilight ends up falling over. The Vancouver Titans use that rally, secure the fight, and Defiant pushed all the way back.
Vancouver Titans too, it was just the rally. They still have 4 more ultimates that are being worked up to. The overclock is already online. Masa is for sure gonna get the sound barrier. But Defiant, like, they haven't had a leg to stand on in this map yet. Oh, King.
Oh, well, that was good. Not quite so lucky as Mirror. He's going super low. Can Aspire turn this one around? They've lost their Junker Queen already, and he finds Hisu again. Starts off big. 4 on 4. Oh, make that a 4 on 3. Hit another one. Go on, do it. King's going to help clean up house as Aspire has stamped his name in the snow. Chorong uses the beat to keep his team alive, but now he's also suffering. Not from success this time. Toronto Defiant have kept themselves in this fight, but the Vancouver Titans, they lost people early and they're able to come back with Master's speed and Aztac's healing, and they have not pushed the bot. Toronto Defiant have just not pushed the bot back. It's still around that checkpoint.
Oh, I mean, although is finally gonna go ahead and make it move forward, but Titans, like, they haven't used many ults at all. Like, overclock, that's it. They still have 3. They're going in.
Beat to counter the bite. Rally from Twilight. He's the main focus. King with a double kill with 1 slash. We'll take that any day of the week. Both DPS dead. Bob pinning down Aspire, so he can't even join the fight. And unfortunately for the Vancouver Titans, that Bob zoned one of the main damage dealers for them. And, I mean, he's still going to fight. The rest of his team are dead, but just a stalling tactic, if anything. Nice position from Hisu.
Toronto Defiant have such a long way to go, though. We haven't quite reached the halfway point, so there's plenty of time for them to be able to turn it around. But look at King's positioning, just kind of getting in front, trying to get this deflect damage to see if anything can start getting opened up here for Aspire to go in with a huge shot. Aspire's been charging up so fast, too, off of the Brig shield. Like, I think that's why Aspire has been so impactful. It's just like, it's hard to find that charge with these compositions right now as the Sojourn, but he's still finding it.
And that's exactly what you want from your Sojourn, just those initial picks. Oh, they are trying to kill this Junker Queen. Yeah, Hopper, very unlucky. He ended up getting pushed in, so he wasn't in LOS of Twilight. And as soon as the Toronto Defiant hear that rally noise, yeah, it's pretty much over. Unless they went for a counter with the beat, it wasn't really going to be a successful fight for them. Now, Hopper, he can come back, and you are able to position here pretty well, but you are Vancouver Titans right now with half the time bank now missing and up to 90 meters. Toronto need to find something crazy to come back.
Maybe it's the sound barrier to be able to stop this overclock? Maybe.
Well, there's the overclock. It's been the opener for the Titans thus far in this series. He's chunking people away. Chorong's sound barrier, like, it went places, but it didn't go that far at all. Like, the Vancouver Titans basically ignored it.
Well, Chorong popped it so early that the Titans just said, we could just back up. That's okay. Like, Aspire recognized too, like, it's okay if I don't get the picks right away. And then once that overhealth expired, Aspire then went aggressive. And now they're close to completing the map. Jaws, they're right at their spawn.
Blade from King. Twilight is already dead, and Chorong was wishing he had a beat in this moment. That is a 3-man anti from the Rampage from Hopper, and it kills a Spire, but look how close they are to completing. They should just be able to do it. Although he's dead, who's coming back with an ultimate? Nobody. Maybe Twilight gets there, but looking quite unlikely. Bob's going to come out, eventually touch the point. This is the opening that the Defiant need. And now Twilight with the rally, but he actually just gets skewered by Mirror instead. Hisu at least has a nice bit of high ground to work with, and it looks like Defiant are going to hold on, but it was a meter and a bit before the Titans ended up full capping there.
That was so close. Like, Titans still, this is a huge lead. Defiant have no progress on this bot, and while they're rounding this corner, Titans are already back to fight in the neutral. They've got the high ground, and Hisu just switched over to the Sojourn. Is it going to be enough to get this clutch factor in with 3.5 minutes left?
Oh, how does he do it? How does one man make so many picks for his team? I do not know. Although with the Blade's going to even the fight, but Twilight, who switched over to the Ana, is not alive anymore for the Toronto Defiant. They have no heals at all. They're relying on Hopper to give commanding shout, but that's just about it. A wave of goodbye from Aztec. Toronto Defiant. I mean, look, they're in Toronto on the map right now, but the home field advantage not working out for them too well. They only need a single meter. Look how close that barricade is to being completed.
This could be last fight. I mean, Chorong has to work up to the sound barrier now, or it is over for the Defiant for this map.
The Heat is back on to the Ash. Chorong has the beats, and Mirror is dead. Okay, this is the turning point for the Toronto Defiant. You've just got to stop Aspire getting away with these kills. His aim is just so clean. The rest of the team willing. Oh my God! Someone stop him before he does any more damage. Look at that smile on his face right now. He knows how dirty his aim is currently.
Disgusting. Like, Twilight wasn't even looking in that direction. You just went and you executed him. Like, get the back of the head. Holy moly. Stop. Like, Aspire has the overclock too. Imagine if Aspire gets behind Toronto Defiant and just clicks some heads. There's 2 minutes left. Toronto still hasn't made any progress this map, but maybe they do now.
Yeah. Okay, this time it is Defiant starting off the fight with a pick, and it is Marsa, but Aspire's got the ult, the overclock, and the entirety of Toronto are looking straight at him. Can he get more kills? Can he get anything? He's trying, but he eventually gets taken out. Hisu getting the kill. Okay, and now they start the bot rolling. A triple kill for the Ash. A bomb has been earned, and meters are on the board.
If Vancouver Titans don't want to forgo this lead, they have to make sure that they keep their head in the game. Defiant actually have a comebackable position. 5 ults on the board right now. The Nano, the anti-grenades from Twilight really could just turn this around right now. Hoppa could just go in with the Rampage, and there's 1 anti on the board.
Nano on the Blade. That's something I didn't think I'd see this meta, not gonna lie. Although, swinging, he does manage to get Mirror, but King's got a Blade of his own. Although with 3 kills, that Nano boost is what they needed to start this match off. And hey, look, they may be down 100-ish meters, but it's still winnable. 45 seconds to go means they cannot make a single mistake in these upcoming fights.
No, they really want to make sure that that bot reaches that checkpoint, and they are so close. But because they're missing Chorong and Twilight, Defiant have to back up here to make sure that they preserve their HP for the fights to come. Less than 30 seconds now, and Titans, they have a rally. Defiant are going to have to outlast that to be able to push forward again.
The Vancouver Titans could opt to just trying to win a fight here and then not push the bot. There's only 15 seconds to go as Aspire tries to open this one up. There's a rally from the Titans. The Toronto Defiant, their only play here is to back off and wait for that overhealth to disappear. But they still need to contest this robot. Overtime is in a couple of seconds, and Aspire's on the high ground with a fair amount of energy. There's the commanding shout as Mirror is tussling in the front line. A 4-man anti. Toronto Defiant, they're going to get taken to map number 5 as soon as they get cleaned up. Vancouver Titans are going to wipe them off the map. Overtime ticking down, and yet another map number 5.
We are getting blessed today with these matches now, aren't we? This is another one that is just turned into such a banger when you see how these DPS are influencing these matches. Whether it's Aspire, whether it's Hisu opening up these team fights with a pick, Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for this 5th map.
The Toronto Defiant have been in this situation, the Vancouver Titans, sorry, have been in this situation a couple of times already, but they've been beaten at the very last moment. Is this their time with a brand new rookie and King joining the roster for today? Can they find that first elusive win against the Toronto Defiant? We'll have to wait and find out. We've got map number 5 after this. Another map 5. Yeah, I know. We've been here, what? The last couple of days, feels like every game has been a map number 5. But so, Vancouver Titans, they've been in this situation 2 times already this season. A map number 5 with the potential to get their first win. And I'm thinking back to all the way to the start of the season when they faced the Boston Uprising. This is week number 1 of season 2022. I know it feels like an age away at this point, but this was one of their map 5s they went to, and it ended up with Boston winning on Oasis. So can the Vancouver Titans here on Oasis claim this map number 5 over Toronto and find their first win of the 2022 season? I mean, it would be incredible. You have a rookie coming in King, who only joined the roster like a week or so ago, or however long it was, then you end up coming with a dub. Like, it's going to feel pretty good. Confidence is probably an all-time high right now in the Vancouver camp.
I hope so, but we did just witness history repeat itself with the Washington Justice getting reverse swept by the San Francisco Shock again this season. Yeah. So I'm holding my breath just a little bit. And I know also that the Toronto Defiant fans that are watching right now at that watch party, you blew out our eardrums with how loud you were cheering for your team. But let's hear some more noise, because I think they need it right now going into this 5th and final map. It's going to be a tough one, Jaws. I really don't know how this one is going to end up going, but I do expect that we will still see the same types of compositions that we have seen from both of these teams. But, you know, that Ashe versus that Sojourn is such a weird interaction. You have those dynamites that really help to pepper in some of that damage to soften up the targets on the other team. But with the Sojourn, it's just so explosive. And if Aspire can keep getting this charge and getting these headshots, I do think that's why the Titans see the success that they see versus the Ashe.
Well, they're just going to run out the exactly same thing they've done over the last couple of maps. It feels like Aspire and Hisu is just a one-on-one duel to the death at this point. More often than not, it's one of them finding these opening picks. Aspire on the Titans side, at least on the last map, found a lot more than Hisu did. Just looking at each other. Love to see it. But I mean, the Disruptor Shot does a lot of work here, I will say. Just getting a lot of damage on these choke points that the Vancouver Titans want to like push through. You can see already taking care of Twilight and Cholrong almost, as the Vancouver Titans will find the first cap.
Really big capture for them as well, because you know when you're playing around the high ground on University, it just affords you so many more angles, and you also have great escape routes as well if Defiant end up trying to chase after you. Even just playing aggressively here at the choke, like, Titans just know how to control where Defiant are going, and that is another thing that Sojourn provides that the Ashe doesn't get a chance to unless you have the Bob online. And it's that Disruptor Shot, like you were mentioning, Jaws, that really does help to push your opponent into a specific position for you to take them out.
Both support elements for the Titans fairly close, but so are Defiant. Up to Aspire, looking for the first blood, maybe. He's unlocked the overclock as he's put under a little bit of pressure, but not enough before he gets a kill. Both Twilight and Aztec end up going down. Cholrong uses that beat. Master 5% away, but Aspire still pumping out the damage. Hopper falls, and now he's up to Hisu. But King just being kind of more of a distraction than anything else, making sure no one looks at Aspire. They eventually did and kill him. And the Toronto Defiant are now still trying to fight over space, but the Titans are in firm control of the point.
They're already approaching one-fight territory. Toronto Defiant have yet to use any of their big damage ults. They finally are getting them online, but Twilight's gonna have to use this rally to sustain them to get to the rest of them.
Blade beats rally for Twilight, although is already dead. Very tiny Overwatch in that room, and Vancouver Titans want none of it, but neither does Toronto Defiant. They've already lost their Genji, and now have to worry about King, who's unlocked a Blade. 10% to go for the Titans, as they are more than happy to wait for Toronto Defiant to come to them. Rampage unleashed, Hisu and Hopper in danger, as now Mira turns his face towards Twilight, and both supports are now dead. Nothing to worry about if you're King now. No boops and no tanks on the field. The Titans now 1 round away before they claim their first win this season.
Don't get too overconfident, Titans. Defiant are still a tough opponent. And yeah, while Vancouver, you saw them run with that first capture, I think Gardens becomes a different story as well. I mean, we will probably see that Symmetra teleporter strategy just to try to get to the high ground as fast as possible. But man, also just Hisu, unfortunately, having to deal with the deflects from King. Ooh. Clean.
Yeah, King is already looking pretty damn good on the Genji, I will say. What a debut performance from him.
It's been really good. It'll feel even better if he gets a win, too.
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps this up, it's going to turn something special, that is for sure.
Ooh, wow. Hisu is actually going to come out on the Sojourn here, Jaws.
Yeah, a little bit of a different shade here for the Defiant. Already going pretty low, so is Twilight. He's down on the ground. Good little boot there from Marsa. Just lying in wait was Aspiring King to finish up that damage. And there we go, Hisu dead. I feel like the Sojourn pick here is going to benefit Toronto somewhat, but they need to win these initial fights. Titans are just not letting him do that.
I think the Sojourn pick is still smart. Toronto can utilize Hisu's, marksmanship to just get these big, quick pop shots and just deletions of the Vancouver Titans. But the thing is that Aspire has been so warm on this hero already and has been making quick work of the Defiant before they're even able to move in. Already 20% for the Titans, and they're going to be working up to that rally very shortly here as Aspire keeps them at bay with the poke.
I mean, look at Hisu, he's already going pretty low. Got the commanding shout, so he's fine with a little bit of overhealth. Now Aspire even lower. Choron going for some Assassin's Creed style stuff in the skybox. Works out though, the rest of it. I mean, Aspire was looking up as his team were getting cut down. All right, Toronto.
They got it. They've got the sound barrier. They're gonna have the rally. Aztec's pretty close too though, so it really is going to be about the timing of these support ultimates, but also, can Aldo get this blade to do something big here? We're kind of just seeing, the cyclical nature of what these Drunker Queen compositions really do need to do in order to, find the success, but rally to start here for Aztec.
Yeah, early rally from Aztec. Double pack onto King, dashes back to Aztec to receive some of that overhealth, and now the overclock is out. A slide into the front line from Aspire, but he's still a little bit too far. Although, hasn't got a blade just yet. King does, but the rest of his team absent from this fight. Although he's just kind of dancing around, King currently earned himself a blade off of that damage on the enemy Genji. Toronto Defiant win the fight and tie the percentage up.
Gonna quickly run away with things as well, knowing that they were able to get some really high value ultimates out of the Titans. And the blade, just let's go.
Okay, blade in the spawn. Aztec dead. I mean, it's what we saw from Toronto Defiant. The very early start to this series was just full spawn holds.
It's gonna have to be a backup though for them, although did get very low there, and you don't want to go down with being so close to the spawns, otherwise Titans will just walk all over you. Hoppa though, just getting in a position to use this rampage for the follow-up from Hisu as well.
I mean, Hoppa's trying to line someone up. Mira got 3. The rampage from Hoppa also got 3. Hisu on the height. He's got to deal with King, who's trying to stop him from getting value from that ult, and he does so with the help of Aspire. Vancouver Titans end up using their beat at the very last moment. Toronto's rally didn't quite find the same success. Hoppa and Chorong at least get kills online and stall this one out. 99% for Defiant as the Titans win it and flip it.
Sound barrier could be so good here for the Defiant to be able to take back control and also tie up Oasis to bring us to a third round. But is it going to be enough when you know that there's the commanding shout from Mirror? King also so close to another Dragon Blade. Timing, Chorong. It's all about the timing here. Don't use this sound barrier too soon.
Aspire's a good little spot, dropping down the low ground. He's so close to that overclock. There's the beat, there's the rush. Aspire in a little bit of trouble. Every single Toronto Defiant member looking at him currently. Twilight takes care of Aztec. Another wicked shot from Aspire, but he ends up trading with it with Hisu. The Vancouver Titans holding on to this point, and they're going to need to for a little while longer. 85% and building for Vancouver, but Toronto Defiant are going to find this flip after these stagger kills come in.
Oh no, Aztec gonna go down here too.
They're just gonna keep forcing this. Why not? All the way to the spawn doors. You're gonna have to run through us before you can get to that point. Overtime is down, and once again, Rose, full distance series, third round of Control, map number 5.
This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. I think that like all of these matches have proven that you can, like every team is kind of on an even playing field right now when it comes to who's going to be able to win these maps, these rounds. Like I think all bets are off. All the cards are on the table. This is going to be a tough one for both of these teams, but it does come down to City Center. I think this Hisu Sojourn pick is working.
I want to see how many people predicted the Vancouver Titans.
Same.
I really do. And who predicted the Toronto Defiant, because, yeah, this is potentially not turning out the way people expected it to. A smaller, quicker rollout there from the Vancouver Titans. They take that high ground first. So nice to be up here. The Sojourn's given so much space. You can basically just open arms, except people jumping up on that jump pad. Spire starts out strong. Killing Choro. Now in a 1v1. Hisu, you're toast.
We're gonna see a quick capture here from the Titans. And this may be the beginning of such a great story for the Titans to be able to get their first win ever in this season. But they have still a little ways to go. Gotta outpace the Defiant, gotta get these ults online. Aztec's already 50% towards that rally, and Masa's not too far behind with the sound barrier either. But man, Aspire has popped off. That overclock is coming up quick.
He's doing so much damage, and you were mentioning before how quickly he's able to charge up these railgun shots. He does let that one go, doesn't find the mark, but now Twilight's in trouble. He's isolated himself. Master ends up just dunking him on the head. They do trade, but without Twilight, Toronto Defiant really have not much else. They gotta go, and they gotta go now, but Aspire is gonna put that nail in that coffin. Back-to-back fight wins for the Titans, as although gets burnt to a crisp.
Oh, Twilight getting isolated there is so detrimental to the Defiant as well. Aztec is going to be outpacing Twilight pretty heavily now. Already has the rally online. Twilight is trailing behind at 60%. And because of how fast these fights have been going as well, I mean, look at this, the aggression from the Titans.
Straight to the spawn, and with 60% in building, Defiant are going to be able to touch the point for quite some time, and with Twilight dead, it's going to be even more time before they're able to do anything. Titans are more than happy with that. Take the kill, back up. You didn't use support ultimates. It's up to Defiant to try and flip the point now.
And because you got that pick, you're in last fight territory. By the time Defiant touched this point, you forced them already to have to play flawlessly and maybe throw everything that they've got, but I don't know if they're gonna even get ultimates online in time. Hisu is so close that overclock may tick over just in time, but not before Masa and Aztec pop their ults.
Just their heart rate right now, just absolutely skyrocketing in the Titans camp. Toronto Defiant needs to come back onto the point, and Hisu with a perfect first blood in the fight. A double kill for Hisu, in fact. Can he find more? He might not need to be fair. Both DPS dead for the Titans, and it's how much they use in this fight will set them up for success in the next one. Defiant, however, only used that overclock. A nice flip as the Titans now one fight territory.
Would have loved to see Aztec hold on to that rally. Too many members of the Titans were down for me to feel like that rally was going to be enough to flip it back into the Titans' favor. And this is also very risky. Precarious situation for the Titans where they need to force ultimates out of Defiant. Take an eco push here. Force that out.
There's the beat from the Titans. Everybody's purple. Mirror with a massive rampage. Can they capitalize? That's the question. Doesn't look like it now as the Titans get forced all the way back. A nice responsive beat from Chorong in that fight. King's gonna go in with the blade.
No.
Okay. A bit over antsy there, a bit over aggressive. 40% though, still for the Defiant. There's still time for Titans to see them in the series.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, Defiant need to win 2 more fights here, and then they do take the win. Titans, they're gonna have the overclock, but the rally from Twilight, that could just seal the deal. If the overhealth is gonna be so important for mitigating this overclock from Aspire. Go aggressive.
Spire, is he going to come up big with a headshot? He's got 75 charge, looking for just the single right click to start this fight off well. Defiant know it, have to back off, using that commanding shout for the speed and the overhealth to get out of there. Looks like they're going to go for a big wraparound, try and stop the supports from entering the point and helping the rest of the team. Aztec ends up going down, and with 80% online for Toronto Defiant, Aspire may have found a good kill, but it is now one fight territory for the Defiant to deny Titans their first win.
Oh my gosh, Shisu as well, just trying to get that last bit of poke to get the overclock online as well. And we're going to see King also switch over to the Tracer just to get back in time.
They're going to go.
5v5.
They're just going to go, try and go for the spawn cap. The Master's already dead. No speed, and maybe not even a chance to touch the point. 99%, and luckily enough, overtime is triggered. Aspire's found the kill onto Hisu as the Vancouver try and march on forward. Aztec with the rally doesn't quite survive long enough to help the rest of the Titans, but it is a fairly even fight, although finds the brig, and now the Titans marching forward. The Tracer from King to try and pepper people down as Mira finds another fight in the kill, but the hero in Aspire takes down Hopper. They just need a couple more kills. Chorong has fallen, although versus King on the point, the rookie, the brand new player to the team, could put them at their first win this season. They are contesting the point just for the time being.
Oh my gosh, you gotta get Aldo off of the rafters, but this is so close. John's Vancouver Titans
is ticking down. The pulse bomb earned, dropped to his feet, and actually it almost ends his life. And Hisu finishes him off with just a basic right click to the chest. OT is here, and the Titans have got a rampage to maybe end it all, but Hopper's got one in his back pocket too. Aspire ends up going down. The Titans' health bars and hopes now dwindling. The Toronto Defiant, at the last possible moment, deny the Titans a win and take the W.
No way! That was so close, but the Toronto Defiant clutch it out. I know that this is disappointing for the Titans, but I hope that they are so proud of the fact that they got this close. I mean, Toronto, they're a good team. They brought them to a map 5, but at the end of the day, man, Toronto Defiant played like just such a synergistic team. Dang.
Oh man, you can't quite see it, but in the lobby, Hisu was putting, you know, you guys are so good, like no joke. It's, yeah, that is.
It came down to the wire.
For the Vancouver Titans, yeah, down to the wire. The final map, they went all the way like they did with Boston way back in week number 1. The Titans, even with a brand new rookie player that they just integrated onto the roster, they don't end up taking the W, and it's the Toronto Defiant now 7-6 in the regular season. An exceptionally close series. My heart is going crazy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm shaking a little bit. I'm shaking. I need to get this, you know. Oh, man, that was an intense series. Like, words can't describe those situations, and the players will definitely put it best. And man, it's a disappointing day for the Vancouver Titans, but the Toronto Defiant coming out the gate swinging, showing what they're made of in this meta and the series. And Hisu is actually going to be our player of the match for this one. His duel, honestly, with Aspire throughout the series, finding first picks in the fights, was kind of legendary. It turned out to be an incredibly clutch pick. This Ash headshots and just the dynamites and the bobs helping Toronto Defiant stay in the series. I think we may have lost Rose, and she may have had a heart attack. I think I'm pretty close to one as well. But yeah, congratulations, Hisu, getting our player of the match. Instrumental in the win today for the Toronto Defiant. And I think both these teams look pretty good on the Junker Queen comp thus far. And we'll have to wait and see how it ends up panning out for the rest of the qualifiers. You know, 10k damage per 10. Pretty damn good. Scope crit heals per 10 as well. Not bad whatsoever. And the most important stat, of course, Bob kills per 10. Almost at 4. Bob did a lot of heavy lifting this game, that is for sure. But no thanks. A lot of thanks to Hisu earning that Bob to deploy him onto the battlefield. Yeah, Toronto Defiant. And look, I had a lot of faith in the Toronto Defiant coming into this stage. I think people like Hotbar. I thought Muse maybe was going to play the Junker Queen, but Hotbar coming in and really showing up on the Junker Queen, getting a lot of Rampage value. But again, it comes down to that superstar DPS lineup in Hisu. Chorong looked pretty damn good on the Lucio. And we mentioned actually on New Queen Street how much damage and final blows the Lucios are getting. It's kind of insane. So it's good to see him and Twilight doing well. Now, where does that really leave? Where does that leave the Toronto Defiant going to the later stage of the season? We'll have to wait, or the qualifiers, we'll have to wait and see. Vancouver Titans still looking for that elusive first win, but it is just me on camera now, and I'm going to say goodbye to you all. We're going to sign off from here at least, and we're going to jump to the desk after this.
나 이거 공 써줘. 비트 못 잡아. 비트 못 잡아. 야,
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to the Watchpoint Post Show, everybody. I'm here with Twilight from Toronto Defiance for the post-match interview. Twilight, what a great match. It was so close, but at the end, you guys were the winners today. So, how'd you guys get the win against the Vancouver Titans today? 자, 오늘 경기 일단 너무나도 고생 많으셨고 수고 많으셨습니다. 오늘 또 어떻게 보면 진짜 정말 끝까지 간 경기였는데 오늘 어떻게 해서 밴쿠버 팀을 좀 이기게 되신 것 같나요?
일단 이번 새로운 메타에 들어와서 저희가 스크림 성적도 너무 좋아가지고 당연히 쉽게 이길 거라 생각했는데 일단 첫 맵까지 저희가 이기고 나서도 쉽게 이길 거라 생각했는데 좀 뜻대로 안 풀려서 많이 힘들었지만 그래도 멘탈 끝까지 잡고 정신력 놓지 않고 해서 이겼던 것 같습니다.
Yeah. With this new meta, to be honest, in our scrims, we really had really good results. So going into today's match against the Vancouver Titans, we honestly thought that it was going to be an easy win, but of course the results weren't that. It was a difficult fight against the Vancouver Titans. I think what got us through and to our victory was our mentality. I think we weren't shaken up when we were losing, and we kept our mental straight, and we just pushed forwards. And I think that really helped us get the victory today against the Vancouver Titans. Now, we're sort of talking about how close this match was, but for you personally, Twilight, was there someone from the Vancouver Titans that really gave you a hard time today in today's match? 오늘 또 트와일라이트 선수 방금 또 우리가 계속 오늘 굉장히 접전이었다고 오늘 경기가 제가 계속 이렇게 좀 얘기를 하고 있는데 트와일라이트 선수에게 오늘 어떻게 보면 제일 좀 트와일라이트 선수를 제일 좀 힘들게 한 선수가 있다면 밴쿠버 팀에서 누굴까요?
일단 아무래도 에스파이어 선수가 오늘 너무 잘 싸가지고 에스파이어 선수 때문에 솔직히 풀세트 간 거 같고 제 생각에는 그래서 많이 힘들었던 것 같아요.
Okay. I mean, I do definitely have to say that it is Aspire. Aspire really gave me a hard time today in today's match. I think it's because of Aspire that today's match went all the way to map 5. All right, with that question, I'm going to end the interview. Twilight, thank you so much for the time. And again, big congratulations on the win. 자, 이걸로 인터뷰 마치도록 하겠습니다. 수고 많으셨고 오늘 경기 승리 너무나도 축하드립니다. 트와일라이트 선수. 감사합니다.
네,
바이바이.
감사합니다.
The Toronto Defiant one win closer to qualifying for their own tournament homestand. Is it called a homestand? It's a tournament. It's a tournament in Toronto later here for the Summer Showdown. Whoa, that was close. Whoa!
That
we thought it was it.
That very last fight.
Very last fight.
That was.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't think I want to talk about it.
I feel bad for certain players in the Thailand to talk about it. You know.
King played a great series, and I think that's the important thing to talk about. He played very well on that Genji, Aspire on that Sojin. Honestly, Vancouver Titans, you can understand why they seem to be turning around. They had a good understanding of how they wanted to play it. Mirror on that Junker Queen, we know he's a very skilled player. The last round, they definitely fumbled the bag a little bit. Just getting a little bit anxious. King with that last pulse bomb was a little unfortunate, but as I said, I don't want to highlight those final moments because I feel like that's going to detract away from how well they performed. Toronto Defiant is by no means a slouch in this composition as well. They did go very back and forth throughout the entire series, but yeah, it's cool to see that the Vancouver Titans, yes, they're all in 13 right now, but I think every team is probably looking at this match and be like, this team is not going to be one that we're going to be able to get over easily.
Yeah, we actually talked about it. You don't want to be the team to give Vancouver Titans the first win, of course, because
Yeah. I've been there with the reality of it. Shanghai Dragons. I've been there. It's in the back of your mind that this is a great team. And you just don't want to be the first team to take that loss.
Yeah, but I think you said it well, that the Vancouver Titans, they showed great moments throughout the series. And then, of course, they showed moments where they, messed up a few things, whether it was a sound barrier coming out a bit too late or, Mirror, maybe whiffed a rampage and stuff like that.